sponsored by the Securities and Exchange Commission of Nigeria.
The capital market infrastructure of small businesses in Nigeria is rapidly changing. A key element of this change is a program designed to promote the listing of SMEs on the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
In 1984, the Nigerian Stock Exchange launched the alternative securities market, but then it was called second-tier securities market. Over the years, the idea was to actually promote small-scale industries or companies to go and get access capital in the Nigerian capital market. Unfortunately, that particular board has not particularly performed the way we wanted it to. But with the new management of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the transformation agenda that has been put in place, we are about to relaunch the second-tier securities market board, which is now called the alternative securities market. In doing that, we have changed the listing requirements for the ASM. We will launch that ASM board, relaunch rather, that ASM board sometime in March.
It serves as a veritable platform that SMEs can source long-term funding from. The listing requirements are a lot less rigorous. It's a lot cheaper to list in that market in terms of the listing costs and expenses. And it's generally a lot easier for SMEs to meet the requirements because unlike when we had the second-tier market, the listing requirements are a little bit more amenable for the admission of as many SMEs are willing to put some degree of structure around what they do. We have signed an MOU to partner with the NSE, basically to prepare the companies that would be interested in listing in this alternative securities market by putting structure around them and making them eligible for the listing requirements that the ASM, that's what the market is called, the ASM, has required of them.
Other things we're doing include value-added services, which we've just launched, one of which is what I call designated advisors, which means that we would appoint advisors for these particular companies to be able to, guide them through the listing requirements, how to qualify for it, get to list in the market. Also, on a day-to-day basis, and hold their hands into ensuring that, they are guided towards raising capital from the market, and also to ensure, to a certain degree, how they can graduate from the ASM board to the main board. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is called investor relations. Most of these companies don't have what I call some form of system that they can be able to reach their shareholders or to reach potential investors as to how to participate in the company's growth. So we are working with Thomson Reuters. We've just signed an MOU with them to actually provide those services for them at a discounted cost. That program should kick off anytime very soon. Apart from that, we're looking at how to ensure that they get some form of corporate governance culture put into their system, as well as the whole culture or structure of how to manage a company.
With Nigeria's economy projected to grow by just under 7% in 2013, the expansion recorded in the oil and gas, telecoms, trade, real estate, and agriculture sectors is expected to lead to a flurry of listings on the NSE. Beyond the need to deepen Nigeria's capital market and increase the options for investors seeking exposure to Nigerian companies, the focus of SMEs by the Nigerian Stock Exchange is also driven by lessons learned from successes in other parts of the world.
In Korea, for example, some of the securitization that we've seen have actually been small and medium scale loans that have been provided by banks. So we need to harness this momentum that's being created in the country, where the leadership understands that small and medium scale enterprise is important, where everybody understands that they need medium to long-term finance, and provide the tools, provide the regulatory environment that is supportive of them. Because if job creation is a goal, which it should be, we have no choice but to make sure that we support our small and medium scale enterprise, not just that they start up, but that they are nurtured and they grow to become the large companies that make an impact in the Nigerian economy.
The program that was done by Italy in terms of small-scale industries. So the government, and I'm not sure whether it's the exchange, partnered the exchange in Italy partnered with the government and designed a program where these particular CEOs or owners of these companies actually go through a schooling method. So over a year or a year and a half, every 3 months or thereabouts, they attend a particular program that is directed towards getting them to, understand corporate governance, cultures, and structures of companies. And today you are seeing the highest number of listings done in Italy by small-scale industries than anybody else, and that was because of that program. And by the way, the program was subsidized by the government of Italy to encourage, in partnership with the exchange, to encourage small-scale companies to actually understand the culture, the reason, of what I call, the benefits of being listed on this exchange, and also understanding the qualification required to actually put on exchange. It's a very successful program, and I think the reason why the Italians did it was because they're almost like Nigerians. They don't like, sharing ownership with any other person, especially on a small-scale basis. So they taught them the concept of, getting to be a public company, and taught them the concept of, corporate structure, corporate governance, and even investor relations. So the program, I think, has been running for a couple of years, and they have seen a significant increase in the amount of listings that have happened in that exchange. So that's a very good example of it.
A growing economy means Nigerians are looking to grow businesses focused on oil and gas, housing and real estate, consumer goods, telecommunications, agriculture, and a variety of manufacturing companies. But which business sectors seem best primed to access the capital markets?
There's no hard and fast rule to it. What we see is that the businesses that are regulated tend to be better organized from the beginning. For instance, banks, whether maybe you're looking at small commercial banks and those as community banks. The truth is that regulation requires that before you even start, you should have capital, you should have management, you should have processes and all sorts. So that gives you a head start ahead of other SMEs. Now, beyond that, what we have seen so far in the course of our interaction, our recent interaction with those that we are trying to funnel for the ASEM market, is that companies in manufacturing and also some companies in retail, the retail sector of our economy, are probably ready for listing. So it all depends on how seriously the SME takes its business. There are some people that would never grow out from being SMEs. They just feel comfortable in keeping a tight control over their businesses. They are a one-man show. Now they cannot get far, but there are others who are serious about leaving a legacy and they want to be able to organize their business professionally. Those could be ready.
Ongoing innovations and reforms in Nigeria's bond market also means that SMEs will not only look to the equity capital market, but to the bond market.
They are also trying to push an innovation where a group of small and medium-sized companies can come together and issue a bond, because the size of the bond is also important for investors like the pension funds to invest. A small fund cannot come and issue a 100 million naira bond. You probably, if you have 20 or 30 small or medium firms come together and issue a 10 billion bond, it might look interesting to the market.
A shift of portfolio investment flows from developed to emerging and frontier markets is well underway. Nigeria has already taken its fair share of the cash, and assuming that the pace of economic reform continues, regulators and market operators seem poised to find new and interesting ways to extract the value that the capital market presents. As they do so, growing businesses like Best Foods are expected to access Nigeria's capital market to raise funds to drive growth. These companies will also provide new options for investors seeking to pour cash into West Africa's oldest and largest stock market. Wale Famrewa, CNBC Africa.